I noticed it out of the corner of my eye before my brain fully processed what was happening. My wife, laughing a little too brightly, slipped something small and metallic into my drink when no one was looking. Instinct churned my stomach. My hand trembled as I held the glass, pretending to sip while my mind raced. The party carried on around me. Music, laughter, chatter, everyone oblivious to the tension coiling inside me. But in that moment, everything narrowed to this single act of betrayal. I couldn't confront her. Not here. Not now. So I did the only thing I could think of. I swapped the glass. I didn't know what it was, poison, sedative, something worse. But I knew I couldn't drink it. I moved through the crowded living room, acting casual. My heart hammered, chest tight, not from fear of death, but from disbelief. The woman I had trusted with every quiet corner of my life had done this, and all I could do was watch her smile, seemingly innocent. This wasn't the first time I'd noticed her drifting away. Late nights at the office, stretching suspiciously into weekends. A faint perfume clinging to her coat that wasn't hers. Her phone always face down, a shield. I'd told myself I was imagining things, that love sometimes breeds suspicion. But tonight I knew I wasn't. I needed answers, but I couldn't allow myself to look foolish. I slipped into the kitchen, pretending to grab a soda, keeping her in sight. My pulse surged when I saw her leaning toward a man I didn't recognize, whispering, touching his arm casually. My stomach twisted as I returned to the living room with the swapped glass. My heart thundered in my ears. I watched as she finished the drink she had prepared for me. She didn't flinch. Then it hit me. She hadn't meant to harm me physically. She wanted control. She wanted to see if I would notice, to test boundaries. I forced myself to stay calm, smiling and laughing at jokes I didn't hear. Fury roiled inside me, but I needed her to feel the weight of what she'd done. I also needed proof. Slipping into an empty hallway, I recorded a video with trembling hands. Her leaning close to the man, whispering, her hand brushing his back. Every frame screamed betrayal. When I returned, she greeted me with a smile that once made my chest ache in the best way. I smiled back coldly. Nothing in my expression betrayed the storm inside. Hours passed. The party thinned. The music echoed softly in the background. Then she tried to be intimate, brushing her hand against mine. I pulled away. Her frown was small, curious. "Something wrong?" she asked, feigning concern. I met her gaze and pressed the phone in my pocket. "You tell me," I said quietly. "Did you put something in my drink tonight?" Her smile faltered, a crack in her facade. "What are you talking about?" she asked, but I didn't answer. I pulled out my phone and showed her the video. Her eyes widened. The playful mask was gone. She was caught, not just lying, but betraying me in a way too large to deny. My voice was low, trembling with everything I'd been holding in. The whispered suspicions, the sleepless nights, the scent that wasn't hers. I'd ignored the signs for too long. Tonight, they could no longer be brushed aside. She tried to explain, faltering, mentioning a joke, curiosity, a test. Her words had no weight. The betrayal had already settled deep into my bones. I didn't shout. I didn't strike. I didn't break down. I turned off the phone and slipped it into my pocket. Then I walked over to the drinks and quietly poured hers down the sink. Not in anger, not for revenge, but as a calm acknowledgement of what had happened. The betrayal had been seen, confronted, and rendered powerless. That alone was enough. We left the party in silence. She might have expected confrontation, tears, apologies. Instead, she met quiet certainty. Her manipulation held no power over me. That night, I didn't feel triumphant. Trust, once shattered, doesn't mend quickly. But I felt awake, strangely unburdened. A few days later, I filed for separation. There was no dramatic courtroom scene, no public disgrace. The reckoning was private, unrelenting. I thought of the years we had shared, the promises, quiet mornings, whispered dreams, and felt grief that was sharp, consuming. Yet alongside that grief came clarity. She had revealed herself, and I could finally see it without denial. I often replay the memory, her hand reaching for the glass, the mischievous glint in her eyes, my silent choice to switch it. That choice wasn't about the drink. It was about asserting myself, refusing to let my own betrayal go unchallenged. I didn't need theatrics. I needed to survive the moment with dignity intact. Sometimes at night, I wonder what might have happened if I hadn't noticed, if I hadn't acted. The thought is both frightening and freeing. I wouldn't be here telling this story, feeling the mixture of pain and strength that comes from noticing and acting. It could have ended much worse. Instead, I walked away quiet but resolute. There was no grand justice, no dramatic revelation before friends, just a slow, painful dissolution of trust and a quiet reclaiming of self-respect. Perhaps it is all the justice a person can hope for when someone they love chooses betrayal in subtle, cruel ways. I am still healing. I still carry the shock, the hurt, the disbelief. But I also carry the proof. I acted and I survived. And in that quiet aftermath, that feels like my victory.